Now, the next forum, okay, we'll talk about libraries and librarians in a digital world. In this pandemic outbreak, librarians from all over Malaysia are exploring ways to reach out to the public. This evening, I have two librarians who are expert in sharing their experience. Now, I would like to welcome the lovely Miss Brenna McCandless. She is the Information Literacy Integration Specialist at Mount Kara International School, Malaysia, and the talented Mr. Edison Rickert, Head of Information Service Division at Sarawak State Library. And today's moderator for this forum is the wonderful Dr. Nur Edzan binti Kek Nasir, the Secretary of IFLAS Regional Standing Committee for Asia, Oceania, Malaysia.
Thank you for coming. Today I will be looking at digital literacy from the point of view of a school librarian and how our instruction has kind of shifted as we've entered this age of information overload. Just a little bit about me. My name is Brenna McCandless. I'm a US and UK educated librarian, and I've worked in a variety of different types of libraries with preschool age students all the way through grade 12 for the past 11 years. And I've worked in the United States, Albania, and now Malaysia, where I am currently the information literacy specialist at Mount Kiara International School. I'm coming to you today from my apartment in lockdown, so always an interesting time this year. Just wanted to kind of start off with this photo. Kind of start thinking here. Would you trust this man to give you science-backed fitness advice? True story. About a year or two ago, I had a student who was working on a project, and this project entailed creating a workout and nutrition plan for a teenage male in order to gain muscle mass. And we were going over his resources together. He happened to have a YouTuber on there. So I asked him, well, who is this? He's like, oh, he's a fitness influencer. Everybody watches him. It's like, all right, well, what are his qualifications? And my student looked at me and he said, well, he looks really fit, so I think he knows what he's talking about. And that was it. He had no idea if he had a degree or experience. Was he a personal trainer? Did he have any kind of certifications? And I frequently have these types of conversations with my students. They trust a lot of these influencers implicitly. Today's students are immersed in social media and digital resources. Just the other day, I had a 5-year-old invite me to subscribe to his YouTube channel where he apparently reviews toys. They like to show me their TikTok videos. They are consuming and creating content daily. So with that in mind, just kind of brainstorm a few sources here. Where do you think young people go to get their information? Well, a 2019 survey says social media, YouTube, news organizations, print or online, and television, in order of most frequently accessed. How is that different from what your answers would be? Or maybe thinking even further back from what your parents' answers would be. I know for me, if I think about my childhood, I would have probably had television first, followed by news organizations. Social media as an information or a news source wasn't even an option back then. If we're to break this survey down further, you get the following. And what's interesting to me about this is how evenly distributed most of the online sources are. But when you combine all of the social media platforms, they significantly outnumber the more traditional or even non-traditional news outlets like websites and podcasts. And I think the implications for this is that a lot of the information that students are getting is not filtered or fact-checked in the same way that information from a more traditional news outlet or publication might be. And this really highlights the increasing importance of digital literacy instruction. So when we say that we want students to be fluent in digital literacy, what do we mean? Well, the textbook definition is the ability to find, evaluate, and communicate information in a digital platform. Now, in the dark ages, back when I was young, during my education as a so-called elder millennial, my education was largely focused on how to find information and how to use the tools that were available to us at that time. So as a librarian or as a library user, that might be how to use the OPAC or the online catalog. If you go even further back, it would be the card catalog, or how to find and use books or journals, mostly in print format. And if you were online, there would be some talk about search strategies like Boolean operators. I remember if you didn't structure your search query properly in a database, you wouldn't pull up anything. That had to be carefully thought about and properly structured in order to get any kind of results. Today's students don't have that problem. The technology has evolved as such that you could type in a full question into your Google search bar and pull up what you're looking for. Now, is that the most effective way to structure a search? No, it's not. But the point is, our students can do it and get what they need. So they can find anything they want with a simple search. And in fact, they often find too much information, whereas we struggled to find what we needed. They have too much of what they need, or maybe not the right information because they've got the right one buried in a mountain of results. The majority of their research is done online now. Less print resources means they have to be able to filter through that information themselves. This is for a variety of reasons, access, budget crunches, it's easier to update online information, et cetera, et cetera. And the tools that they use are constantly changing. So it's less important to learn a specific tool and more important to learn the concepts behind those tools. As a librarian, looking at these core aspects of digital literacy, that means that my focus has had to shift. We're still learning how to find information, but the bulk of the instruction has moved into the idea of evaluating sources and communicating those ideas. So really what it is a cognitive shift in how we frame library instruction. The early part of the research process still focuses on how do I find the answer, or how do I find what I'm looking for. But then the bulk of our time is looking at the why, or to put it succinctly, how do we know what we know? How do we know what is true or false, right or wrong? These are big questions, and they prepare our students not only to become responsible information consumers, but global citizens. Now, we've been talking a lot about some big ideas, but I'm going to bring it in a little bit and just walk you through an exercise I like to do with my high school students. Nutrition is always a good topic for this. I mean, are eggs good or bad for me this week? Can I have my morning coffee or will it kill me? I never know. So let's just take a look at these headlines and think about how they frame the content that you are about to consume. Is milk really good for you? Milk is great. 12 reasons why milk is bad for you. What does it make you think about? How does it make you feel? I'll usually have a chart following this. And we'll have these questions here, the following questions, or we might just have a class discussion about them, where we look at target audience, purpose of the information. Why are they putting this information out here on the internet for free for you? Whose point of view is being represented? And the big one, how does this make me feel? I think this is a really important tool to help you identify purpose and bias in the resources that you're looking at. But not only that, but it helps you identify bias in yourself as well. If you're having a very strong emotional reaction to something, maybe take that apart and start evaluating why that's so. So where do we go from here? What now? What are the main takeaways? I really think that digital literacy needs to start early. Start with your youngest students, but you have to provide structure and scaffolding for them. I don't like to set my students loose into the wilds of Google without training. And this is why I really kind of hate the term digital native. Yes, they are comfortable with technology, but no, that does not mean that they know how to use it properly. So especially with my youngest students, But even going up higher, I like to curate high quality resources for them. So provide examples of what a good resource looks like. Age appropriate databases are great for this. Websites, sometimes even just a single page in a website is all I want them to look at. And then once they've mastered navigating and using those responsibly, we graduate to searching and finding resources online. And even then, specify what types of resources are acceptable, model strategies, which leads you into the idea of teaching skills and not tools. So what are some common features that databases and websites have across multiple platforms? Skills that transfer. Is it more important that my students know the ins and outs of Flipgrid, for example, or is it more important for them to know how to record a video and upload it in multiple file formats so that they can do so no matter what the platform? And finally, dig deeper. So this means asking questions, having your students ask questions. When would YouTube be an appropriate resource? Is Wikipedia ever okay? Is this story true or not, and why do I think so? What are the facts? How do I find the facts? Just to leave you with a final thought, I think it's so easy when thinking about digital literacy to focus on the technology aspect. But the technology is a tool, an important tool, but still just a tool. Digital literacy at its core is really just information literacy in a digital platform. And when we focus on that, we are not only teaching students how to use technology, but how to be critical and reflective thinkers. And really, isn't that the goal of all education? Speaking of modeling, I've included my sources for all images here. I hope I've given you some good information to mull over today, and thank you for listening.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Edison from Sarawak State Library. It's an honor for me today to stand in front of you virtually to deliver a presentation. The topic of my presentation is Reading Seeds, the way forward promoting early literacy developmental awareness among families in Malaysia via e-learning platform, about Family Literacy Initiative of Sarawak State Library Pustaka known as Reading Seeds. Reading Seeds is an e-literacy and developmental awareness program for family with young children. Within our premises, we serve as a university, a cultural and social center for the community through our collection, our facility for educational and social events, and our parks. Our outreach and community engagement service helps bridge the gaps for the community who experience challenges in accessing traditional library services. Among others initiatives, we focus on information and technology literacy for the rural community, powered by our product Pustaka in the Box. We teach the community how to use technology to access the free electronic material and for social and economic purposes. Our Maker Movement program gives them the opportunity to participate in technology-based activity. We also contribute to early literacy through our statewide Reading Seeds program. We operate under the Sarawak State Library Ordinance 1999 with two statutory functions as a state library and a state depository. We support environment that foster knowledgeable society and lifelong learning. The depository function entrusted us with the leadership role to secure the future of both physical and digital records of the state heritage. We provide consultancy service on the provision of library services and coordinate training program for 230 units of public library under the local authority. In this presentation, I will cover three main points. First, our dream. Second, our responsibility. Third, our task. Fourth, our journey. Fifth, Reading Seeds. Six, collaborators. Seven, our ecosystem. Eight, target achievement. And nine, what next? Lastly, collective responsibility. That will be the overall structure of my presentation for today. And now let's move on to the first point. First, I would like to talk about this program was first initiated for the community in Sarawak, Malaysia, was later in 2019 adopted by the National Library of Malaysia as a national reading project. The main objective of this program are to stimulate early literacy development concurrent to the development of a baby's physical and cognitive growth. Program objectives are to instill the love of reading among children starting from home, to equip parents with reading tools and knowledge, to equip parents with knowledge and tools on tracing their child developmental growth, to create sustainable community-based early literacy program. Our dream, the Reading Seed program, is to empower parents at home to take charge of their little one development at home by providing reading material and developmental awareness. Reading Seed program is an early intervention family literacy program that has been developed by Pustaka Negeri Sarawak. The Reading Seed program aims to embed the reading habit in the ideas, custom, and social behavior, creating a nation of reading society. Our responsibility, embedding reading habit early in a child growing years. It's undeniable that child reading skills are important to their success in school, work, and life in general, and it is very possible to help ensure your child's success by reading to them starting at a very early age. Continue readings to learn more about the top benefit of reading to children and how reading can support them for the future. Our task is to instill a child love of reading from a young age and support early literacy developmental of lifelong learning. A child's first few years are also a critical time in the development of lifelong literacy, during which your passion for reading and storytelling can be developed easily and effortless. It is stated purpose to provide positive language and literacy influences for young children through supporting parents as their children's first teacher. From the moment of your first child is born, you became a teacher, although not a formally qualified one. Whether you like it or not, you instantly become your child's first and most influential coach. From day one, your child will look to you and so much in life, and what do matter more than what you say. They will use your action as a guide to make sense of the world around them and to develop skill to take them further in life as they grow. The Reading Seed program is a continuation of the Born to Read program, which was been implemented by Pustaka Negeri Sarawak since in 2011. Through Reading Seed program, Pustaka introduced early literacy in the early stage of a child by engaging mothers who play a major influence in their children's critical time in the developmental their lifelong literacy. From 2001 to 2016, the Sarawak State Library have implemented 3 phases of family literacy initiative: Born to Read 2001 to 2011, Every Child Ready to Read 2012 to 2015, Phase 3 Reading Seed 2016 to present day, and nationwide Reading Seed 2019. Pustaka launched the Reading Seed program in 2016 by handing out reading kits to newborn babies to the government hospital and clinic in Sarawak. What inside the Reading Seeds? Reading Seed parental guide books, 4 children reading books to help the little one expand their vocabulary, 4 children's book in English and Bahasa Malaysia revolving around Malaysian culture and diversity, shadow play set, black and white flashcard, sensory board, baby milestone card, baby profile poster, bilingual learning books, 1 on alphabet, 1 on number, shapes and colors, Mi Book apps, access for 1 year, audio interactive library with 400 children books, developmental wooden block, 4 set of story books in English and Bahasa, height chart, baby development milestone, information about local library resources and addresses, and 20 lullabies, nursery rhyme for baby to sleep, song and bedtime music, and a library membership form. Collaborator. Okay, to ensure that this program is impactful, Pustaka continue to collaborate with the following agency: Ministry of Welfare, Community Welfare, Women, Family and Childhood Development Sarawak, Sarawak State Health Department, National Library of Malaysia, Ministry of Local Government and Housing Sarawak, Libraries Divisions, and book supplier, author, illustrator and volunteer. Our ecosystem, building the reading culture, reading play an important part of lifelong learning, and this important skill should be developed as soon as a child is born. The more children read, the more things they will know and the more confident they will gain. When children develop the love of reading from young, they grow, they become more motivated to continue reading and learning. Experts highlight the potential of reading and talking infants to infants are not just for language and literacy development, but also other aspects of cognitive development. Pregnant mothers, parents, and newborn babies are those with toddler age 3 and below. The caregiver will be given an initial startup reading and developmental kits through community-based reading workshop and training. This is to help enhance the skill required to raise the, independent reading and lifelong learning for their child. The kit was developed by a team which comprises pediatricians, psychologists, counselor, early childhood educator, creative, professional, illustrator, author, and librarian. Target achievement. Independent readings is a children reading of texts such as books, magazine, and newspaper on their own with minimal to no assistance from adult. Lifelong learning is why your child should become a lifelong learner. Never stop learning because life never stop teaching. Commit yourself to lifelong learning. The most valuable asset you will be ever have is your mind and what you put it onto. This is bring us to the first reason why lifelong learning is extremely important, the developmental of your mind. What's next? Technology. We have assisted program, workshop, product, impact study, the effectiveness of the reading seat, continuous improvement of the reading seat kits and program. In line with the Sarawak Government Digital Economy Initiative, also global COVID-19 pandemic, the Sarawak State Library is offering an online learning course that promotes early childhood literacy, digital inclusivity awareness and skill among Sarawakian. You can see Madam Phyllis Tiang, our first ever reading seat recipient who has successfully completed all Pustaka Negeri Sarawak reading seat e-learning module. Following her completion of the entire program, Phyllis received a reading seat kits from Pustaka on 23rd October 2020. Parents are invited to participate in Reading Seat e-learning program for free at the address www.openlearning.com/pustaka/reading seats. Parents who have successfully completed all the reading seat activity module will receive an e-certificate and reading seat kits that will, can be claimed at Pustaka Negeri Sarawak and all campuses. To make the claim, please bring your e-certificate and baby health record books. In terms of distribution, our state distribution points via Sarawak State Library, HQ, Sibu, Miri and Biri campuses, 47 public library, 215 village library and 42 digital center, community center statewide. How to apply this? You may try log in at register an account through www.openlearning/pustaka/Sarawak/reading seats. Yeah. And you can bring the e-certificate, bring along the health books for baby and child to Sarawak State Library in Miri, Sibu or Kuching. Claim your own reading seat treasure box. For the next 5 years, from 2021 to 2025, the Sarawak State Library plan to distribute 45,000 reading seats for free to promote early literacy and the reading culture among newborn in the state over the next 5 years. Collective responsibility, hashtag readers together. Reading is a collective responsibility and the key for lifelong learning, and if you can instill a love of reading at an early age, then a commitment to lifelong learning is to ensure to follow. Reading should allow present as a source of pleasant, valuable and exciting experience. Children who value books are motivated to read and on their own and will likely continue to practice independent reading throughout the rest of their life. When it comes to reading to your children, the benefits to your child life range far beyond the developmental of a close bond with them, although that's certainly one of them. Reading aloud to children is truly the single most important activity for building this understanding and skill essential for reading success that your child will carry with them throughout their life. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that's the end of my talk today. Thank you for your attention.
So I would like to ask Dr. Edzan, okay, to moderate and basically we can take a forward and.
Okay, thank you, David. I'll try to get this done very quickly because we are already on at 2:15. Anyway, thank you, Brenna, and thank you, Edison, for your presentation. Brenna is working at a international school, and Edison is working at the state libraries. Two different scenarios, but both are talking about the same thing. They are talking about literacy. One is digital literacy, and one is talking about literacy as it is. So I will ask Brenna first. Yeah, Brenna. Towards the end of your presentation, you did say something like you hate the word digital natives, right? I think me too. I feel the same way because it has been misconstrued by so many. Can you expand on the idea of digital natives and how the misapplication of that term has impacted or affected the actual digital literacy instruction that you guys do nowadays?
Yes. So we started to notice, I think the idea of a digital native means that they already have these skills in place. And so I was starting to see with students who come in to me, technology gaps, things that are part of my education probably as well, things like typing or how to between different file formats, uploading, downloading, connecting your printer to your computer, or how to turn the computer off and on. So they're very comfortable if you give them, if you give them like a cell phone, they can navigate that very comfortably. But when it comes to the more hard technology skills, sometimes they're lacking in that. And so I think that maybe this is a good time for educators to really maybe reevaluate how we look at technology education and where those skill gaps are, and then where there may be more gaps. They can't make assumptions that they.
Okay, we can't hear you clearly because we have got some lagging there. But anyway, we got the gist of it.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No problem.
Quarantine Wi-Fi.
No problem. Edison, lama tak jumpa. We finally meet again.
Yeah. How are you, Doc?
For all those who are not familiar with what Edison is doing, he is working at the Sarawak State Library, or we refer it as Pustaka Negeri Sarawak, and he is currently the head of the Information Services Division. For all those who have been asking stuff in the chat box just now, the National Library of Malaysia has adopted the Reading Seat program as a national reading program beginning 2019. But the idea behind the Reading Seat program is totally from the Sarawak State Library. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
I have seen when Pahang launched the program in 2019, I think I was there. I saw the entire pack. I saw the entire kit.
Yes.
And this brings me to the question of, there were some things that I saw in the kit, yeah? Is it possible for you to elaborate further the red flags for the infant toddler identification guide, which is available in the Reading Seat kit, but under the parents module?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Edzan, for the questions. This is the one that we launched. It's actually 3.0 module. We have been improving it since day one. I mean, since version 1 until up to version 3, where version 3 is a very structured module where we involve early childhood experts, medical doctors, together with us, the librarian, the author, illustrator, to come up with a module that as comprehensive as possible, that for parents, for the parents to refer, because red flags identifications in a child development is very important, where a child failure to reach speech or language milestone as expected may be a red flag. A warning meaning a speech or language development problem. If your child does not reach developmental milestone on schedule, it does not necessarily mean there is a problem. So in this module, actually, we if you can see here, it's from 2 months up to 3 years. So every stages of the child developmental development milestone, there is a guide for parents to follow, and also to refer to if the child have problem or not able to speak of arrange the wooden block accordingly. So the parent might need to refer early intervention with a doctor. Why my child not able to achieve certain tasks at the stage of their age? So this is very, very important, because most parents they're not aware, or not aware, and also very late to detect this problem. So early detection is very, very critical and very important for parents to seek help, and also to seek advice from the professional healthcare to intervene how to overcome this problem for the child. So
which
it's
means
very,
to say, which means to say that the reading seed kit itself is a good way of trying to figure out whether your child has got reading disabilities, etc.
Yes,
yeah?
that's why the reading kit is a very comprehensive content, where we even include the shadow play, wooden block, sensory board, black and white board, and a lot of books that can stimulate the literacy of a child.
Okay, for those who are asking or wondering where you can get the reading seed for young parents with babies, if you're trying to figure out where to get the reading seed for the other states, try contacting your state library. I think each state library in the country has launched the program, and they have the kit with them. Okay, David, I'm pressed for time, so let me just shoot one more question to both of them, and I'll hope they keep it short and sweet. Brenna, are you still with us? Okay, I don't see Brenna here. Anyway, Edison then. Edison, I was present at a workshop that was held in Pustaka Miri sometime in 2019 again, and I saw how you guys do the reading seed workshop with the parents, and some of the parents brought their kids along. Now, that was face-to-face, yeah? But with the current COVID-19 situation, how do you conduct your reading seed workshops to the parents and the babies and the children? And how can the parents get the reading seed kit from your library nowadays?
Yeah, with the current pandemic situation, we have to go online on an e-learning platform. So since June last year, we make available the reading seed modules online, which is we are utilizing the open learning platform. So parents can register, can go to open learning platform, search for reading seed, register there for free, and then they can undergo the module from antenatal up to 38-month module. So once they complete the module, they will receive a certificate. So they can claim the reading seeds kits at our campuses, plus our partner 46 public library in Sarawak. 200 plus library, village library, Perpustakaan Desa throughout Sarawak, and also 42 digital community center in throughout Sarawak as well. So this our agent who not only to distribute, also to conduct the program. If the parent who are not IT savvy, they can go to the center to undergo the hybrid kind of phase teaching them how to enroll the open learning platform, and also to finish the module, and also to get them to understand how to engaging the activity, and also make fully use of the kits available in the treasure box.
Okay, so all this information will be available on the individual libraries Facebook, yeah? So participants who are interested in the Reading Seed program, Reading Seed kit, please go to the Facebook or the various state libraries, and the information is there. Now I'm trying to get hold of Brenna because I want to pose this question to her. Brenna, are you still around? Brenna?
Well, I keep dropping out, but
You are there. You are there. I see you now. I see you on audio. Okay. You mentioned something about starting digital literacy at an early age. Yeah. And you also mentioned something about providing your young students with structure and scaffolding. Okay. So is it possible for you to give us examples of scaffolding digital literacy skills in the classroom or in the library instruction programs that you run?
Yes. So with my youngest students, a lot of times they come to me with questions all the time, and so we will kind of build in opportunities to model good search behaviors or good technology behaviors. So if I have a student, we'll have a discussion, and then something comes up about the hunting habits of wolves. I'll be like, that's a good question. We should look that up. And then we'll work as a class where I might just pop it up on the board real quick, and I can walk them through what I'm searching for, what terms I'm using, how it works, and just build those into your day. Also, a lot of times with my students, they don't know how to come up with search terms. And so I like to flip it a little bit, where sometimes I'll give them print books instead. And I'll be like, okay, so we're gonna look at the index and the glossary. And what would you use if you want to find something in this print book? How would you find a word for that? And what kinds of words would you look for? And so that they have practice using different words and different vocabulary, so that when it comes time to bringing it out into the larger Google world, they can actually, they've had practice doing it in a print environment already, and then they can transfer it over into the digital world.
Okay, understood. Okay, thank you, Brenna, and thank you, Edison. We hopefully we can meet on another platform, a longer platform. Yeah. And sorry, David, I know you're rushed for time. So I think I ate up into 12 minutes, all right? Okay, thank you, both of you, and hope stay safe, yeah?